Hey guys, welcome back to the 1000th episode of I Need to Go Outside, the web show where I show you makeup looks inspired by things I'm passionate about, and I should also probably go outside sometimes. Let me introduce you to my main themes: standards of beauty and social status, and ethic versus emic views. The main reference I'm using is Where Does Art Come From?, which is also our class textbook, focusing on the chapters What is Divine and What is Beauty. Let's get into it! First, we'll be starting with the makeup look inspired by the portrait of Shin Zuk-ju. I chose this piece specifically to introduce one of the main themes in this video: social status and beauty. There are some indications of the subject's social status in his community. See the beautiful clean robes and the gold peacocks and trees? These clothes imply that he could afford such luxuries. Go in even closer and you might take note that the peacocks symbolize high status in the ancient Chinese culture. He has 2 peacocks, which means that he's very well respected in his community. In this makeup look, I wanted to really highlight this garment. I started with a base of teal face paint and drew on the gold details with yellow and gold makeup. I made sure to get the 2 peacocks and branches and added some leaves as oval jewels that I put on with eyelash glue. Here are some pictures of the final look. The second look is inspired by the mask of Azakate. This artwork introduces the second theme, ethic versus emic views. The spirit Azakate is the embodiment of manhood for the young Maasai boys. He is there to sort of push them to get circumcised and become a man by withstanding the tremendous amount of pain required to complete the ceremony. I wanted to combine the Azakate mask itself and the bright clothes that the Maasai wear. So, I made half of my face a bright pattern and the other half Azakate, while keeping the markings on the mask same for both sides to sort of tie them together. I really wanted to capture the more rugged vibe I get from this piece. So I really allowed myself to paint with more pronounced strokes and convey the sense of chaos and strength that I associate with the spirit of Azakate. I really wanted to show how important this tradition is to the Maasai people. Regarding ethic and emic views, people in the US may see this practice as barbaric and cruel, but it's much more to the peoples it originated from. Thus, the bright colors, pronounced brushstrokes, and the use of the structural mask itself unapologetically represents the Azakate spirit. Here are some pictures of the final look. The third look is inspired by the bowl with geometric designs. For this piece, I really wanted to capture the motions that the contrasting lines create. This ties into beauty. Over time, these designs were changed bit by the artist who wanted to try something new, and eventually the standard of beauty for these bowls became geometric designs instead of sheep and stuff. It's amazing to me that they are still beautiful works of art years and years later, and without this insight into the evolution of the designs, we might not have appreciated them as much as we can now. I really tried to stay as close as I possibly could to the original design because I really wanted to focus on that. I also added a bit of shiny makeup just to make it pop, especially since the original would have had a glaze on it. My fourth look is inspired by the gold figure pendant. From an outsider's perspective, it holds no meaning other than it's some art piece. But from inside their culture, it depicts a very important and very real act of a shaman transforming into a bat, or a bat-based deity. The materials, gold, also shows that this is a very important figure for that culture, as they took the time and resources to gather that gold, transform it into this very elaborate piece. They really thought a lot into it. I took a lot of time highlighting the wings of the bat in my look. I used warm colors to show the gold material and used shiny glitter to add some shine to it as well. The fifth and final look is inspired by Shiva Nataraja.
Shiva Nataraja.
Shiva Nataraja.
Shiva Nataraja.
Shiva Nataraja.
Shiva Nataraja.
Shiva Nataraja. The details and time put into this piece, as well as the religious ceremonies associated with it, shows that he has a very high social standing in his culture. I really tried to capture the fiery spirit this piece has, and rather than the US depiction of fire as something that only destroys, I wanted to show it as something that destroys, then rebuilds, as Shiva Nataraja does. So I made sure to make this makeup look more hopeful than all fiery and, destructive that you might think as like a ring of fire. I tried to make it look very pretty and, very shiny, kind of. Why is this important? Now, I know all you teens with your Instagrams and TikToks think you're so much better than us older generations, flaunting how many followers you have as well as all the AirPods you bought. Well, guess what? People throughout history did it first, though not in the same way. Through the study of art history, we are able to see a visual representation of the beauty and social standards of many cultures of the past. It's not only interesting to learn, but it also allows us to better appreciate the things that we have now that might have been seen as luxuries many years ago. Like how anyone now could probably just buy a replica of je ne sais quo's garments, but it wouldn't hold as much importance and respect in today's culture. Each of these pieces hold great importance to the people who made them, either in representation or the object itself, and we are able to look into the lives of the people who might seem different from us, but with just a different way of life than we are used to. Or we see them in an etic view, because we are so far in the future, rather than in an emic view of what they knew all their lives. There is also a connection to us and past cultures, as many of what remains of their societies are still considered beautiful, even if they don't quite hold the same emotional importance. Also, here are the sketches that I made of each look. It was important to say that they were inspired by each piece, rather than just copying them down exactly, so I made sure to change the design as a whole while keeping key elements to keep them recognizable. As well as in the video, all of my sources will be linked down in the description, including the article I made in reference to the bowl with geometric designs. Well, that's all I have for today, guys. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching.